So it has been a while since I've done an anime review, and oh boy, what an anime show to come back to, Chainsaw Man. Now, I was really excited after I watched the trailer. I mean, I came about it surprisingly, and I was glad that I came about it, and it was good. It looked great. There was something about it, the idea of it worked with the Chainsaw Man. And the hype that I created for myself for this show, I'm glad that the show met that hype. This was one of the most well executed, well paced, realistic action based kind of an anime that I've seen in a very, very long time. This was great. I mean, starting from the characters and the randomness, they're really well put together. The cast and the pacing of everything and the randomness, all of it, it works. It's sometimes things happen from the intro to the story itself. Things are so random, but you're like, the story and the characters keep everything together, and it feels random, but it's also not, and you'll see what I mean when you watch it, because from the intro, as I said, it's just stuff happening. It's like they were like, okay, what can we do to have these characters just doing random stuff, and it's hilarious, and you watch it and you never want to miss it because you want to watch it every single time. You never skip it. That's what I did. I never skipped the intro. Even though I've seen the intro many times, I didn't want to skip it. It was great. So the randomness of all of it, the pacing, all of it was actually great. And that's where the next comes in, is that the pacing was actually really, really well for an anime show. You never feel like there's a filler. Even if it was, you never feel like it. It kept going. The way the story is paced, the way the story goes, episode after episode, it's interesting. You want to stay in there. Never do you feel like they're kind of stretching this one point out. It's go after go. Surprises come like that, and you're like, all right, we're going and we're going and we're going and we're going. And that's, I think, the best thing about this show. What holds everything together is the pacing, and that goes to like then the characters. Like the characters, even though you're like, okay, you have seen this kind of an idea before, the way the characters are put in, especially Chainsaw Man and his will to live and the reason he wants to live and the thing he wants to do, it's hilarious. It's absurd, but the show makes it work. It makes it realistic. You kind of understand where he's coming from, the life he had versus the life he has now. He's a kid inside. He's really not an adult. He is, but for many reasons, he's still a kid inside. And he misses that. And there is that aspect of it. And I loved it. And I felt like, in a way, they made it realistic enough to be like, all right, I can get behind this. Yeah, it's absurd. It's all of that. But still, it works. The story, the characters make it work. And next thing, the action. The action. Like, this is like realistic anime action. And again, it is over the top, but it's very grounded. There's no characters waiting there looking at each other, telling each other what attack they're going to use. None of that. And surprisingly, it works really well. With an anime, you kind of expect that to happen. You expect like these long, long fights, and it's like it just goes over the top. Even though there is some over the top stuff, it never goes there. It finds a way to keep the action realistic, keep the action grounded, and it very much works in favor of the show because how well the pacing is executed. If the action wasn't there, it would have like really disturbed all of that because the characters, the dialogue, you are watching it and you're like, okay, I want the next thing, and it gives you the next thing. It never waits for it. It just keeps going. It gives you the surprise after surprise after surprise, and it keeps the pace going and keeps the action realistic, not too long, just sweet enough that you get your fill, and that's it. And I gotta tell you, this was an excellent show. I'm glad that I was hyped for it. I'm glad that I actually watched it. I'm glad that it met that hype. This was something, I think, even if you're not an anime person, because of some of the reasons I've said, how long it is or how the action is so over the top. It's not realistic. I think this is something you can definitely still watch and have a lot of fun with. So that's kind of my take on this one. What did you all think about this? If you have watched it, leave a comment below. Let me know. And on that, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. I will see you all soon. Until then, ta-da, a